The Emerging Enterprise Awards are brought to you by OCBC, Asia's best SME bank, and the Business Times.
Venturing into beauty had never crossed the minds of three guys who graduated from Nanyang Technological University back in 2005. But the trio eventually became the brains behind Kskin, which provides express Korean facial services. The franchise has since ballooned with multiple outlets in Singapore and abroad. And for more insights, we're joined by Brian Ng, co-founder of Kskin Management and winner of the 2024 Emerging Enterprise Award. Good morning, Brian. Thanks for being here on Money FM.
Hi, good morning, Audrey, and good morning to all the listeners.
It's great to have you on, Brian. So to kick things off, first things first, congratulations on winning the Emerging Enterprise Award. What does this award mean to you and your team at Kskin?
I think we are all very delighted and definitely grateful for the win. More importantly, I think what we are looking for this win is actually to further venture abroad for our brand, to work with strategic partners who actually see the value that Kskin brings, and they have certain skill set that they can actually come together, partner together and then to go overseas. For back home here in Kskin HQ, this win is actually dedicated to everyone who has worked really tirelessly to build this brand up that upholds the USP, especially like our USP is 15 minutes express facial, no package, no appointment, and importantly, it's also train up the therapists and also for them to provide quality service to our customers.
If we could take a trip down memory lane now, can you share what attracted you and three of your schoolmates to venture into starting a business with the Korean beauty industry and what it entailed back then?
Myself, together with Bernard and Samuel, three of us, we graduated from NTU. We started business actually during varsity days. That's in 2022. So that's most about 22 years. So when we started, we didn't do anything related to beauty. We started with print and advertising. So that was our first business, which lasted us for many years. And in fact, for certain productions, we are still running it. So 2013, we wanted to pivot. Because we see that there's opportunities to pivot into something a little bit more cash flow. And something that we think that possible to scale, has good margin, and that's in trend. So we look around and we saw, maybe we can look at a quick cut, because each of us, we all go to, a salon to cut our hair. And at that point of time, the quick cut business was like booming, right? So we thought, maybe we can, do something like this. So at that point of time, Korean trend was like, wow, on the growth, right? So we thought, maybe we can formulate a brand. So we discussed and then we come up with a brand called K-Cuts. So we were the co-founders of K-Cuts. From one shop in 2013, we actually do a franchise model, and to date, we have about 74 outlets island-wide.
Wow.
So with K-Cuts, we actually opened many other hair brands as well. Hair salons like Apgujeong Hair Studio, Myeongdong Hair Studio, Kalaks Hair Studio. In over 11 years, we created 9 brands. So if you go to kcgroup.sg, you will see all the 9 brands that we carry. As we moved on with hair, we actually did pretty well. In 2015, we asked ourselves, do we want to do something related to hair? So we thought, maybe we can go to beauty, hair and beauty. So in 2015, we went to Korea and we saw a brand. And this brand is called Kskin House. Kskin House, right? What they do is that they use a Goki technique that naturally shapes your face to a V shape. So we thought, wow, this is amazing. We have not seen this before in Singapore. It would be very good because it's non-invasive, right? So we thought, with that, why not? We bring this brand into Singapore. So we actually talked to the owner, and the owner liked us, and he flew in to Singapore to see our setup, and they really like how we do have Koreans working for us in our hair salon, and they said, since you know our culture well, you take our brand and then you start in Singapore. So we were the first franchisee of this brand called Kskin. So in 2015 we started, and we did really well. We did so well that at the end of the term of 5 years, they decided to take it back and run it on their own.
So it sounds like a lot of homework had to be done and a lot of research was involved prior to setting up Kskin. What showed your team that it's a business idea that's not just sustainable in the long run, but one that has potential for growth as well?
So in 2019, we set up this brand called Hanbang Skin Solutions at Wheelock Place. So the business was doing really well over there because people that comes to Wheelock to spend money, their income bracket is pretty high. But then we realized that, it's very difficult to scale this business to other parts of Singapore because the income brackets are different. So the only way if you wish to replicate the success at Wheelock is to hard sell packages, which we do not want to do it. So that's why we only have one shop. So in 2020, COVID pandemic strike, right? There was a lot of opportunities. There were a lot of certain trades that are not doing well, like laundry shop, money changer, travel agencies, small setup, 200-300 square feet. So the landlord calls us and say, do you have any new concept? So at that point, we were trying to solve this problem of hard selling packages, right? And also during peak hours at Hanbang, I tell you, is like the peak hours is always fully packed. and customers always have issues booking in at the peak hours. Right?
I see.
Yeah, and it's a very long type of treatment process. So we thought, hey, in this case, right, why not, we formulate something that is quick. That's how Kskin came about. Yeah, so quick beauty, express beauty that is able to achieve much shorter duration in 15 minutes.
So you guys went from hair to beauty, and I want to talk about your rapid expansion as well. You've got 17 Kskin outlets in Singapore under your wing.
Yes.
And by year end, we hear that there will be 12 outlets in Malaysia as well and 9 in the Philippines. And Kskin is also making its foray into Atlanta, Georgia. So it mustn't be easy at all to expand so rapidly. Could you share some of the key challenges that your team faced along the way, especially when it comes to scaling your business, both locally and overseas as well?
Thank God that, we are able to step foot out of Singapore. In Malaysia, very much so, we are running it on our own. In Singapore, maybe I just bring back to Singapore first. We do have this challenge of manpower, and many of our therapists are coming from Malaysia. So the only way to actually scale is through franchising. So because individual franchisees, they can actually have their own entity and they can employ foreigners to work for them. So that's how we're actually able to expand quite quickly in Singapore. So when we look at Malaysia doesn't have any quota issue. In fact, the therapist comes from Malaysia. So that's why when we went over to Malaysia, we think, hey, why not we do it on our own? So we were able to then expand quite quickly. In fact, we just started last year. So to date, we have quite many outlets already. In Philippines, we also open with a strategic partner as well. Some of the criteria that we see for strategic partners is very much they have to have good relationship with the landlord. And that's very important so that they can enter into the shopping malls, right? Second of all, they must be quite in terms of their experience in scaling the business, because we don't want to just open 1 or 2 shops, right? We want to have someone to be able to bring this brand and expand quite quickly in their country. And third of all, they must be able to have good team builders. They must be good team builders because they have to take care of the therapists, train them, and then motivate them and make sure that they are able to bring up the sales of the shop for the franchise, for the partners.
You and your team really have built quite a successful business so far, and your growth has been rapid, right? So how do you plan to maintain this growth trajectory in the future? Is there a specific goal that you have in mind?
In fact, we do have a goal in mind. We are looking at achieving more than 500 shops in the world. We are hitting there. We are currently about 80 over outlets. We are hitting our 100 outlets likely next year. What are some of the things that we are looking for is really to look for strong strategic partners. When you go to other countries, you will have challenges. You will have language barrier, you will have different culture in terms of, negotiating all the laws and understanding how they work. All this takes time.
Yeah, so many moving parts.
That's right. Yeah, so it's important for us to find someone. So currently we are shortlisting people we think that can work with us, and we'll take care of the brand. We can partner them. It can be a joint venture abroad, and then we can grow this brand together.
All right. So Brian, before we let you go, I want to bring it back to the award that you just won. What kind of new opportunities do you feel the Emerging Enterprise Award has opened up for you guys at Kskin?
Okay, first of all, I think locally wise, it is going to amplify Kskin in terms of our brand in Singapore. Even though we have 65 outlets in Singapore, I can tell you many people have not heard Kskin and have not tried Kskin before. It's important for us to continue to amplify Kskin. Hopefully, more and more people will see this brand and go to the nearest shops in North, South, East, West in Singapore, to try out Kskin, because it's something that is fast, that is effective, right, and saves you a lot of time. So this is what we think that you can do in Singapore. But of course, in overseas wise, we think that importantly is this award, we hopefully are able to find some strong partners. So they can see, oh wow, you're growing so well in Singapore, and you're stepping out to Malaysia and also to Philippines. Maybe we are keen to work with you.
Well, exciting times ahead, and this was a great story of how Kskin grew from an idea among friends into a thriving business that's capturing international attention. Brian, thanks so much for sharing Kskin's story with us and for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Blessed day.
We've been speaking with Brian Ng, co-founder of Kskin Management and winner of the 2024 Emerging Enterprise Award. Keep it here on Money FM 89.3.